Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. The day after a disaster, like absolute disaster. Um, not even how, no, not even that we lost the game, the first loss on the season in the Serie. It's how we lost that game, and especially how Motta reacted post game, where he was talking. Um, Actually, for the first time ever, I think I was like, I'm gonna not listen to the presser because what he was saying was straight up waffle. It's something you cannot say if you're the coach of Juve. You just cannot do that. A lot of excuse making, like a lot of excuse making, which I don't like ever, and especially not if you're coaching Juve. You cannot do that, and especially not when you were in control after that first half. And it's not the first time. That is the main point. That's what he's not really willing to talk about, and that for me is very, very, very strange. But before we get into it, as always, hit the like button. Do that now. Let's get to at least 100 and plus likes. Should be easy. Subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about it. Like, as you can see on the screen, you can see the quotes. You can see the numbers. They're there. You know, when you lose that game, he crashed out. Like he literally he did it in a polite manner because he's not a coach this far who actually gets really angry. He always remains calm. He did it in a polite manner. However, he crashed out. When he comes out and you can see what he's saying, and you say things like, we put a coach who is top of the league, has 1 week to prepare under some real pressure, or we put them in difficulties. When you say they have more time to prepare because they play once a week, and that's why we lost a game, you cannot say these things. Like, you just cannot say these things because guess what? Fans do not care about that. Fans do not care. Like, fans would be willing to listen to that if we were not in this position. Let's say of the 13 draws, we would have won 5 more, and this was your second loss. Fans will be more willing to listen to that. Willing to listen to that because you will be higher in the standings. It will be in a different position, and the results we have right now, where we cannot hold on to a lead, you probably would have held on to a lead, basically. However, we're not in that situation. The situation is that we failed to win 3 games in a row this season in the league, which is absolutely unbelievable. Like, and that's extremely worrying. The point is that this has nothing to do anymore with playing once a week, because this is not a one-off. Like I said, if it's a one-off, you're like, maybe, you know, fine. But that's not a one-off. I also can understand you drop in intensity fitness-wise when you play a team that play once a week. I fully get that, and that was something I was saying in the summer. I was like, I don't like these players coming in very late. It's not going to help us throughout the season. Then all the injuries happen as well. I'm like, it's an even bigger mess. However, when you play that first half, the first half you played quality-wise, which was very, very good. Like, let's not kid ourselves, but it's irrelevant when you come out in the second half. And he said the plan was to set up a good block. Why? Why was that the plan? That was not the plan in the first half. That was not the plan in the first half. The first half, the plan was we play out from the back and we play with some, I don't know, swagger, with some belief. You know, we play high up the pitch. We set up our midfielders high on the pitch. And if Agreens, I'm butchering the name because I'm all over the place. McTominay and the guy that scored, which I cannot pronounce for some reason right now. If you bypass them and they are high up the pitch, you're done. Like, you're through, and you can do something which we failed to do in the first half because we had a lot of opportunities and we messed it up. Same thing, you know, in the first half there was so much space and we made the wrong decisions so many times, which cost us to not even potentially score more goals. However, that's not what we do. He said it. We came out in the second half and the plan was to set up a low block and be compact. Well, we didn't. We were all over the place, so that didn't work. And that hasn't worked for us all season long. So why keep pushing with that? At least go for it. We had 0 all over the board in the second half. 0 shots, 0 attempts, 0 XG. Like, it was all 0, 0, 0. You know how bad that is. That has nothing to do with we play every 3 days. That has nothing to do with that. That has absolutely nothing to do with that. Really, let's be completely honest. That is on you. That is on the setup. That's on the mindset. Di Gregorio came out and he said, this is nothing about, you know, the performance on the pitch. It's more than that. He said it's just not mentally. He said it's not just in our heads right now. And he was referring to setup. Like, let's be completely honest. Di Gregorio came out and said this is not about just between our heads right now. This is more than that. And he was talking, oh, obviously he's not going to say that. He was talking about the approach in the second half, which is shocking. It's just shocking. You had no issues in the first half. Yeah, Napoli came through a little bit, but so did you. Like, we actually played out from the back. We got into scary or dangerous areas where we messed up. I get it, but still, we did that because we were courageous. That's how we wanted to play, and we didn't do that in the second half. And when you make subs, you know, Locatelli, boneheaded mistake, awful defending for the first goal as well. You know, just sleeping. Cambiaso giving the ball away. Like, the subs were too late. I knew it. You know, you're totally out of that game, no control. The subs were too late, and the subs were also the wrong one. But whatever. Like, you have a player like Locatelli making that mistake, and you bring in kids. You bring in two Serie C players, Mbangula and Savona. That's it. That's the reality. And we're going absolutely nowhere playing like this. I'm not even one of those people saying get him out. I'm not on that board right now. However, the pressure is on. When you see these things happening over and over again, I need to question you. I'm like, yes, I didn't believe we were going to win anything this season because we changed 12 players or whatever, 10, I don't know what, 11. So I'm realistic with that. However, and you can address players, you can sell players, you can bring in new players. That's all that. The thing you cannot address, or it's obvious you cannot address, is the fact that we give up leads when we are in control. It's the fact that we are not doing anything possible or everything possible to win a game. I don't know who that was. I saw a player from Napoli putting his head literally in front of the ball so Thuram couldn't continue and set up a counter attack. We're not doing that. And yes, you can talk about lack of energy and fitness level, but still, it's a bare minimum. You're not doing that. Early in the second half, I saw Gatti stepping up high on the pitch, close to our sideline, and he was trying to win a ball back. He didn't do that. He lost that, and he jogged back. He jogged back, which left acres of space down the middle. They didn't score from that, but that was a very, and I'll try to clip it and use it in my live show tonight. That was an indication where I'm like, this is not good. This is not good, you know, because you're not even tracking back, not even trying to track back, you know, and that's extremely worrying. The willingness to really win, to put out everything on that line is not there. Because if that was, we wouldn't have dropped 17 points. I cannot believe this is actually a stat. 17 points from a winning position. You know how insane that is. If you only got 9 out of that, you will be in a completely different position. In a completely different position. But that's who we are right now. And it's going to happen again and again and again. Because first off, this team lacks leaders who, by the way, also have quality. Not just be a leader, also have quality. And secondly, Motta doesn't come across right now as a guy who can motivate these guys to put everything on the line, to fight for the badge, to go that extra mile, to, you know, push on until the last minute. That's not who we are right now. And that is extremely worrying, like extremely worrying. You know, and again, I see people blaming it on Locatelli, fine, but he's having a good season. This is not a one-player issue. Like, this is not, if we had Bremer, we will be in a better situation. That's not the case as well. Let's not kid ourselves. We cannot do that. If we would have Bremer, we probably would have avoided a couple of goals, but we will be in a very similar position because as a team, we collapse. And we've seen that last season when we had a good start and then completely collapsed, you know, throughout 90 minutes. We didn't even have good stretches in the game, but this is also not what we need right now. So it is insane. It's actually crazy what's happening. If you look at the stats, you're like, how is that even possible? You know, look at the first half and the second half stat. You're like, we put out it's a completely different team. We put out the next gen in the second half. That's how the stats look. It's actually mind-boggling, but it's the reality. It is the reality, and I have no idea how Motta's going to fix that because this is not about quality of players. It is, but it's not the main point. You know, when we talk about Vega and Kelly and waiting weeks for weeks, and people in the comments are like, you're negative. Am I? Or am I just being realistic to the many issues at the club, and do I actually want to win? I don't think people want to win. And I feel like everybody's comfortable at the club right now, because at the top, nobody's saying this is not good enough, you need to do better. Nobody's saying that at the top of the club, and everybody's just doing what they're doing. But that's it. This is the rant for this video. I will be back live today with some guests, so we can discuss it furthermore. So stay tuned for that. And that's it for me. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you guys later tonight. Ciao.